kill the king, like shit, wanna take the crown. I can see through it like a stomach with a other sign. When I hit the gas, I be going like 100 miles. They be getting tired, running out like a haunted house. All up in my business, real no.
A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, it's week 3, and we've got a good one in store between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. 2 weeks have come and gone. It's off to week 3, and we're underway on EA Sports. Kene Nwangwu now out of his end zone.
Kene Nwangwu on the return. The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 14-yard line.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 15.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Off the play fake. Cousins. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Aiden Hutchinson in there to record the 2nd sack of his young NFL career. They were able to win last week despite him being sacked 4 times. They might need to tighten the reins a little bit, or this one may not end in another victory.
You're right about that. They can't count on just winning the game no matter what happens. They can't let the accumulation of hits and harassment in the pocket get to their quarterback. Got to stop that, give him clean lanes and throw the football in order to have a better chance to win again this week.
2 yards on the pickup there, and that's going to make it 4th down. We're able to get the completion, but unfortunately not able to get the 3rd down conversion there on that play.
And I like how the defense approached that one. They knew where the 1st down marker was, and they decide whatever you want to have, you can. You're just not going to get the 1st down. Excellent tackling right there.
So possession goes over here on the punt, and the Lions will take over. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 43. Back to throw, Goff. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
You can tell they wanted to get that ball downfield. They had nothing working in the secondary, so he dropped it off to the running back. That one ended up incomplete.
So 2nd down, still 10 yards to go. Ball on the 43. First carry for DeAndre Swift. And some room to work. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. A big run there, 29 yards and a 1st.
Well, partner, I have to say they caught him in the right defense there. Nickel set, 5th defensive back on the field, and they love to run against that because now you typically get a bigger blocker on a smaller defender.
Yeah, because those DBs like you, they want the interception. They're not as worried about the running play, right?
Not at all. I still remember being in school, and one of my offensive line teammates used to say, boy, I'd love to come downfield and hit you little people.
Good run there. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
It's nice to see Jamison Williams recovered from his knee injury suffered in the college football playoff in 2022. And we already knew that his speed was some of the best in the game. And that's a big reason why Detroit traded up to pick him 12th overall. So earliest they've taken a receiver since 2007. That pick being Hall of Famer Calvin Johnson. Nice job there by Williams, using some of that speed there to pick up a 1st down.
Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. There's gone. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Zadarius Smith charging hard for that linebacker spot, and he drops him for a loss of 11.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on, how about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
It'll be a pickup of 16, but they remain short of the marker, and it's 4th down.
Nice job understanding the situation. 3rd and long, kept the play in front of them and made the tackle. They gave up a good chunk of yardage, but it does force a 4th down.
Badgley able to knock this one through. So a long drive gets them down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Early on, you know, Charles, every game could be called a measuring stick game, but I think when it comes within your division like this, it's a measuring stick. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And into the end zone, a scoop and score on the fumble return for the Detroit touchdown. So the big fella gets on the scoreboard with a return for a touchdown. Good thing he didn't have to go too far, though.
You know the trainers were very happy about that. Imagine having to go get him in the end zone, escort him to the bench, and give him the oxygen. They were loving the fact that he got in without having to run very far.
So an early 10-0 lead for them now as they kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. Not only are they in search of their first score, they're in search of their first down in this ball game as they come up 1st and 10. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down. When you're down early, how do you get back in the game, maybe establish the run? I think they're trying to do that.
Now, I'm with you on that one, and what I like about the message is that there's no panic from the head coach. He's already told his offensive coordinator, let's run the football, let's get things settled down a little bit, and find our way back into this game.
They try to throw on 2nd down, but this one is incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Just a gain of 2 there, and it's going to bring up a 4th down.
4th and short, partner. I mean, this would be a really risky call. Here we are in the first quarter.
side of the field.
Side of the field. But, boy, what a tone setter that would be to go for it and get it, wouldn't it?
You're gritty today. I like it.
I'm feeling it.
Running for it. Here's Cook. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. Boy, a curious decision to go for it. Doesn't pan out. And it'll be a turnover on downs. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room? Because I think the team's going to look at my coach. Well, why would we go for it there? I mean, no confidence in the defense. You don't like the punter. I mean, what's going on here? You owe us some explanations.
Tackle made by Eric Kendricks.
This defense for the Vikings, very strong last week as they helped their squad improve to 2-0 on the young season.
And the way they did it was by getting after the quarterback. Sacked him 7 times in that game. Came from all angles, created a lot of illusions, and especially just beat them man for man. That's the kind of defense that really frustrates an opponent.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Throwing on third. Gone. Trying to get it to Williams, but it's intercepted.
And the Vikings will have the football as this is taken up past the 30.
They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss, and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way. The head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
Following the interception, Cousins. Eluding, and he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Hey, no, he's easy.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield.
That's going to be knocked away and incomplete.
I see what they were trying to do there, trying to find some dead space in the middle of the field and take their shot right there. A really good idea, but it winds up incomplete.
First kick, 47. This one looks good as well. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. So a change of possession here on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They're looking sharp, out early to a 10-zip lead and looking for more as they've got it 1st and 10. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Gain of 5 brings up 2nd and 5.
10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Cousins. And he's got this to Jefferson. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A very solid gain of 27.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
Cook going to be hit and met at the line of scrimmage. They get him down at the 3. They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal.
This is a critical sequence here for this offense. Things really haven't gone their way so far. This could be their chance to get back into it, but they've got to find a way to punch this ball.
And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. Chris Board, the outside linebacker, coming up to drop him for a loss of a full 10 yards. The Vikings on 3rd down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. They're looking at a 3rd and goal here. They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. He's at the 50. He's at the 30. 10, 5, and he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. So this defense doubling its pleasure there. Remember, they had the fumble return for a score earlier in the game, and now this time an interception return for another score. And oh, it's no good on the PAT, so they can't add on here. And our score is going to stay right where it is. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. Nwangu now from his end zone. And not a good return here at all as they'll be forced to start at the 12-yard line.
For most people, the excitement of a kickoff return is to see a long one that goes back in the opposite direction. But for the guys covering it, it's being able to stop them deep in their own territory. How about that incredible form tackle right there? Shoulder in the ball carrier, and down he goes.
They start the drive with Cook. And he fights forward for a modest 2-yard gain, 2nd down.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Cousins. Flush to his right. Aiden Hutchinson. That is now 2 sacks for him here in this 1st half.
Well, Charles, this has been something to watch so far. This is where you really feel for a quarterback. He's been running for his life in this 1st half.
Brandon, that's 5 sacks already, so you know he's got to be saying, can we get some more guys in here to block, please? Because if we don't, we're going to need another quarterback.
Give him 3 yards there as that'll take us to 4th down.
And here's Ryan Wright now.
As the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he'll just punch it out of there, and it's not a great kick. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And that will come the offense as they take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive.
And for this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember, last time out, they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back, but make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
A play fake for Swift. Now Goff.
And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
Charles, he doesn't seem to be particularly in tune with his receivers, just 2 for 7 throwing the football, but he did seem really locked in before the game.
Yeah, and that has to do with receivers sometimes. Sometimes the defenders knock them off their routes, and you're usually pretty precise. 1, 2, 3 cut, balls out of his hands to the receiver. In this case, might be...
And yet again, Goff is intercepted. And the Vikings are going to get the football here at their own 23.
Well, when I saw the pressure coming at him, that just looked problematic. Hit him as he threw it, and the interception ensued.
Let me pay homage to the man who stood in this spot before. He always talked about how much pressure is in the face of a guy. and can he step into a throw? And when you can't do that, oftentimes interceptions result.
Well, I think the hope is, with a touch pass like that, maybe you catch the defense off guard, but they were all over that one.
And it is the kind of play that works better against certain defenses, and this clearly was the wrong one to run into. Really nice job getting him down behind the line of scrimmage.
Yellow. Now on 2nd and 13, Cousins. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. They push him back 8 yards that time on 2nd down.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete domination. And he'll be out of bounds right around the 20. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that. On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So a good punt there, but a nice return of 11 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. And that's out to the flat for Swift. And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. You're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. From the 50, it's Goff. He'll get this into the hands of Swift once again. And he is going to have a Lions first down as they convert on 3rd and 3 with a nice gain of 7 yards.
And they'll use him out in the backfield and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
And he's going to be taken down. Goff is sacked. Multiple defenders getting home there for a loss of 11. He was superb a week ago. 3 sacks in that affair. Now 1 here in the second quarter.
How about our conversations this week? With him, it was pretty simple. He said, I've got a few combinations I can try it out they haven't seen yet. And on the flip side, they thought they had a plan to block him. Might need to come up with something else because he looks like he's getting loose now.
Punch, counter punch. Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
And that's to Amon-Ra St. Brown. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop them with 27 seconds remaining here in the second quarter. So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And they're going to fake it. He wants to throw it here. And they're able to pick up the first and keep possession. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well.
You know I always talk about when teams line up for long field goals that you should be in a safe defense.
Right.
But you're also in a position here where this is a makeable kick. So rushing it is also part of this strategy. Maybe they use their aggressiveness against them on that fake.
Yeah, with a low trajectory, they're coming in hot, trying to block it. You're right, and obviously it worked out. So we have reached halftime with the visiting Lions taking the lead to the break.
As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And no alley to be found. The coverage was solid, and he's dropped at the 18.
18-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete.
Well, 2 good plays on this one, Brandon. The first one at the quarterback because the pressure affected his throw, and I think it forced him to throw away from his designated target. And how about the second bit of pressure downfield? Receiver going up for the pass, helping force that incompletion.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. Goff a handoff here to Swift. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
He's got this complete to Williams. And this is going to turn into another first down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 45-yard line. That's a 3rd down conversion of 24 yards there. Nice play.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down. And
he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack, trying to get away but could not. And Daniil Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground.
Well, we knew this guy wasn't especially fleet of foot, but he tried to conjure up some escapability, but there was no way he was getting away on that one.
After the sack on first down, Goff, he's airing it out for Williams. And this is caught. A big play there for Detroit. 54 yards. When you think of guys that are built to be big-arm quarterbacks, Jared Goff, he fits that mold, and he showed it off right there. After the big play, a chance to finish now on 1st and goal. Swift is into the end zone. Touchdown, Lions. So another touchdown there, and even though we're still just here in the 3rd quarter, kind of hard now to see them giving up this lead.
And this is just an offense that's imposing its will right now. You name it, they're able to do it. If you're the play caller, whatever you want to select is there. You want to run it, you want to throw it, pick a play, any play. They're rocking and rolling right now.
Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Nwangu now from his end zone. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22.
On the return, the Vikings take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for this.
Oh, ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
And he'll get this into enemy territory, but not by much as he's down to the 48. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Well, sometimes you just have to give credit to the defense. Great job there at the point of attack, holding up. They won their battles at the line of scrimmage, left him no space to try and run. A really nice job swarming to the ball carrier.
They'll fake the give. Now gone. He'll get this off to Swift. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 11 yards there and a Lion first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league.
And in for the Lions touchdown. DJ Chark, his second touchdown on the season. And the Lions are an extra point away from going up by 30. Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And the lead is now an even 30.
Makes the score Lions 30, Vikings nothing. Jack Fox to kick off for the Lions.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Nwangu now from his end zone. And all deep in his own territory, he coughs up the football. And this is scooped up by the Lions. And he will take this down to the 10-yard line.
Starting to get the sense throughout the league that more of the special teams coordinators give their guys the green light to bring the ball out because everyone wants big plays to happen. I don't know if that philosophy will hold after that error there, turn it over that deep in their own territory.
Do guys go rogue there a lot based on feeling?
I think a lot of them just sense that they can make a play and make a huge one to help their team. And they have to have that athletic arrogance about themselves. And every now and then, though, it'll cost them. And that's what we just saw there.
That's going to go as a loss of 1 on first down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one by the line of scrimmage.
Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. So stuff for no gain on 2nd down brings up a pretty interesting 3rd from this distance.
I'm throwing the ball, and I'm not even thinking about play pass. I'm going to let them know right away I'm throwing it, but I'm probably giving my quarterback some room, sprint him out to one side or the other, and give him an opportunity. If it breaks down, he can take off and run for it.
3rd and goal as they look to pour some more salt in the wound. Now Goff. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete. Certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up 4th down. Badgley's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. A bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable. Now, a win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles, but I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets him to 2nd and 4.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now. Now a pass dumped off to his running back. So the completion gets him just a yard, and now it's 3rd and 3.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly.
And the 3rd interception thrown by Cousins. Picked up by Afitu Melifonwu. And the Lions are going to take possession of the football.
This has been one mistake after another on the offensive side of the ball. That's now 3 interceptions to go along with 2 fumbles for them. And if you're going to turn the ball over 5 times in a game, your chances to win have to be about 100-1. And it's not looking good for them here.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
76.
They will run straight ahead with Swift. 65 yards rushing for him. His 10th carry of the ball game.
A gain of 13 yards. And the Lions first down.
So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. They'll stay on the ground with Swift.
And he's eaten up at the line of scrimmage. Might have gotten a yard down to the 16.
16-yard line. A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd and 9.
And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we'll begin it with a field goal try here. A 33-yarder from the left hash. Badgley able to punch this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
The Vikings take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. First down, here's the run with Cook. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. And the trend continues here in the fourth like it was in the first, second, and third. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. But bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they'll keep handing it to him.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Romeo Okwara shooting in there and dropping him for the sack.
Well, it's obvious, but I can't help but say it here. It's never a good day when the opposing defense has more sacks than you have points. The win seems likely, but this defense is still playing for something here. They see that 0 on the scoreboard, and they don't want that to change.
Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. That's a 43-yard punt, aided as well by a loss on the return.
38-yard line.
The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. You just kind of feel for the defense right now. This deficit, they have not been able to stop them the entire game, Charles. And some hands on hips, some long faces out there on the defensive side. They're like, oh my gosh, we got to face these guys again here.
Yeah, people don't understand how hard it is when you're on the side that's being dominated to keep your head up and continue to play hard. And that's what they're going through right now, trying to find that pride inside of them to allow them to continue to fight, even though they are down huge in this game.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Once again, it's Swift. 80 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Well, they nearly sprung him that time as he takes this all the way down to the 37. 11 yards there, just like last play. And carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
On 1st and 10, it's Swift. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That gives him 98 yards in this game, and he's going to feel pretty good about that, but the entire offense does. The big thing, though, Brandon, they've got to get to 100, though.
You think he knows he's at 98?
I think someone has told him by now, and here's the thing. Getting to 100 or more is tangible evidence that you've had a nice day running the football, and that's what his offensive line wants for him and for themselves.
Value three, value three.
On second down, Swift. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a third down.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Throws out left. It's caught by Williams. McCoffin Williams hooking up there for a Lions first. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on third down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
They run out of the gun with Swift. And he'll maneuver his way forward for about 4. 2nd and 6. Tackle there by Lewis Seen. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. The ball resting on the 20. Here's 2nd and 6. Now a give, right side, Swift. Give him 4 on the carry, and it'll make this a 3rd and about 2.
Back-to-back 4-yard runs. Now look, if they just do that all the way downfield, ball ends up in the end zone, but that's a little difficult to do.
Yeah, I think now 3rd and 2, that defense ready to stiffen up and stop that run. Play number 9 set to come here on the drive on 3rd and 2.
2 for 1.
They'll try and run here with Swift. And he will have the first down before he's tackled at the 12. They're able to convert with a gain of 4.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to be given a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. So not just a blowout win for them today, Charles, but a shutout blowout win as well. Clearly just a superior effort on both sides of the ball.
And didn't it feel like you get a touchdown, you get a touchdown, and then the defense jumped up and said, hold it, we're getting involved as well. You're exactly right. Big points, both sides contributing, a full team win.
So for Detroit, they get back in the win column as they move to 2-1 now on the year. And they will head home next week to take on the Seattle Seahawks. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they too will exit with a 2-1 record. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in New Orleans against the Saints.
son of God level. The sun, the sky, you can see the vibe. We ride the high, always on a high level. So open up your eyes better. Why these tell me? You can join the journey, you is worthy. Just allow me, no. Kicking down your door. Bloodsuckers, I see this industry is filled with sheep. People that pretend to be something that they would never be. Oh my, I just need some little old peace of mind. The sons of kings, the gurus, the gods. The moon, the light, the fools, the facts. My God, oh God, this is son of God level. The sun, the sky, you can see the vibe. We ride the high, always on a high level. So open up your eyes, baby. I can never be controlled. Let them know. 500 helicopters driving me gonzo. But they want you just to envy. Let them see it. I'm the first to say it, now it's time you just believe it. I got too many fakes, made lots of foes. These people cold. Talk down your dreams because they know they can't come close. Don't shake no hands, they'll steal your friends. I walk alone. I see false idols, all the titles you need to grow. I've been rushing hard, but